Welcome. In this video we're going to find out if one cucumber plant is enough for a high yield. The same group we have courgette, zucchini and melons. This is Princess Linda. Welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. I have a courgette here which I'm going to use for the demonstration. I pollinated this courgette last week. Here is the courgette. It's just over 30 centimeters long. Now I've put some labels here. This is the first courgette that came, and I labeled it A. By the time it came in, the female flower, there was no male flower yet, so there was no pollination, and therefore it was not fertile, so no fertilization. And then B came along. You can see it's trying to grow a bit. It came along and there was a male flower and a female flower, and I just left them to their own thing, but the pollination was not very successful, so it grew to a little and stopped growing. So I decided to self-pollinate the next one, which is C, and I got the two flowers, male and female, which I call C and C male. That morning I've got a video of the pollination, and this was a week ago. It's 8 days ago now, and this is the result. After that, 2 days ago, early in the morning, this female flower opened up. I call it D. This male flower opened up later in the afternoon. By that time, this female flower was already wrinkling. It was no longer receptive, so this male flower could not pollinate it. And so I think if there was another, I would have been able to self-pollinate it with a male flower from another plant. So the more of these plants you have, the higher the yield per plant will be, because these plants produce the flowers in very little numbers. Most plants have male and female organs. But we have just a few that produce separate flowers, just like this. They come as male and female flowers. So come closer, and first we need to identify the male and the female flower. You just take a look at their stem. You can see the stem of this flower. The stalk. You can see the stalk of this flower. It's very slim. Now this is the male flower. You can tell because it's got this narrow stalk on the flower. And this is the female flower. You just saw an insect flying out of it. They've been open for about an hour, and now they're trying to close. I'm going to look inside the female flower and show you can see some insects inside. That means these insects have successfully pollinated this plant. That's why it's deciding to close again, because the mission is already accomplished by the insect pollinators. But I'm still going to come along and show you once again how you do it by yourself. It is and you can see the pollen grains. You will see it better when I start to do the pollination. And here is the female flower. It's got the stigma. Now this is a male flower that has done its job and fallen off, and over here is the female flower that it pollinated. Now, in order to get a good yield, I would help this pollination along. That is the male flower. And then I touch it to the female so that I can pour the pollen grain . It's going to start growing larger until it becomes either a cucumber or a courgette, a zucchini, or a melon. This is actually a courgette plant, and this is one that's already been pollinated and is growing. Let's take the male flower that has fallen off, put it away. That is a zucchini that is already growing after it's been pollinated. Pollination is very important for the success of our gardens. You can actually eat the petals of this flower. Only eat the ones that have already done their job anyway. If not, you will not be getting any courgettes. That's the male and that's the female. I think you can see the difference. The male has this single pistil and the female has a bunch of the stigma. Quite different from each other. I mean, there's no mistake in it. pollinating zucchini, courgette, cucumber, and melon. This is the pistil from the male flower, and now I've pollinated it. So that's pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, and that is pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, and now we're going to get a fruit. This is a narrow branch of the male flower. That's where I got it from, and you can see the female already has a robust branch. That is what is going to grow into the courgette or the cucumber or the zucchini. This is one successful story. And this is another. And this is 72 hours later. I fertilized this 3 days ago, exactly 72 hours ago. These are the ones that were there before. Now, in the case of these two, I did not self-fertilize them. I'll call this B because it came in second. It was fertilized by insects about 2 days before this, which I self-fertilized. And I'll call this A. This is the situation that happens when you have just one zucchini, cucumber, courgette, melon plant. When this flower came in, the female flower matured and there was no male flower around. So the fertilization wasn't really proper. But this, there was a male flower and there was a female flower, but I left them to their own deeds. And this, I self-fertilized 2 days after this, and you can tell, I think self-fertilizing works better. Here is my courgette. That's the success. That's the C. I just twisted it off neatly. And then, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.